Howdy y'all, welcome back to Tavern Tales. Today I am joined by...
Crusail. Crusail as per the norm.
And again, we're joined by our special guest and hopefully continued player.
Me.
And today we have an exciting event happening. The orcs are finally sieging our small town of Foresthome. Hopefully we will survive and the town will come out mostly unscathed. If not, we'll have to see where our heroes go from here. And it's going to be a little different than usual.
Riley has actually set up a full system for almost board game style combat where it's not the same numeric values that we've been using for D&D combat. It is actually just that each unit has a point value.
Much smaller numbers.
But each unit has an attack value and an HP value. So,
and there's a few special abilities. Not that many. We've got a bunch of different assaulting orcs. We've got our militia set up from the town. We've got our heroes, a few notable champions from within the town and the area.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do our best to defend this big assault.
And just to clarify, also health is a little bit different, but everybody is at max health right now, right? They managed to complete their...
We're all at our numbers, our top numbers. Let's see. So let's get started in it. So you guys are deciding how you want to distribute your forces. Me has noticed a notable weak point. There are walls set up all around the town to protect, except for, with a notable exception of, the Green Village, or the Green Farm, is a entrance that's basically been left open to the town. And he has no knowledge of the powerful Mistress Green there, and has suggested to Kale and Tukra and anyone who will listen that perhaps we should focus our forces. Well, to Kale and Tukra, perhaps we should focus our forces there.
Tukra is going to... when Tur brings up this possibility, he'll just grunt, or he'll go, It's not necessary. That place is fine. They have other means of protecting themselves, and it's not of much interest to the orcs, as far as I can tell. You do not need to worry.
It may not be, but the market square right past it is.
It's defended well enough, just not with brute force.
Where are you guys having this conversation?
I was hoping that it would be further away from everybody. I thought Tur he said that, or me was saying that it's just Tur talking to Tukra and Kale, so I thought that just meant they were
talking privately, kind of quietly. Okay. The militia are getting anxious. They want to find out where they should go. They're worried. They've been hearing updates from Tur all night on where the orcs are, how close they are.
Well, last we left it, I flew out to try and harass to slow down the enemy.
They're even more worried then. We haven't heard. We just heard back now. They're getting close.
Okay, well, from which direction are they coming?
They're coming from all around. And the Green Farm is a notable weak point, and they'll obviously see it.
Okay, and we've got, let's see here. We've got 5 groups of militia, and each wall is supposed to be an entrance point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They have to go through a wall or the Green Farm before they can move to any of these inner spots.
Right. Okay, let's have... Kale is going to take charge here. And he's going to say, all right, everybody, I'm going to ask that one group of militia take each wall, take each gate. Make sure that there is an even disbursement. We'll reassign troop positions as the battle goes on and see how the orcs decide to maneuver. We're playing defense here, people. We need to make sure that we are keeping every area covered until we know that we can focus on one area for battle. As for the Green Farm, I'm going to need to ask... Let's see here. So there are 5 walls?
So there's 5 walls, yes.
And the Green Farm is not included among those?
The Green Farm is not protected by any walls.
Wait, you said that the people on the walls next to the Green Farm could see the Green Farm?
Yes.
All right. As for protecting the Green Farm, Tucker, I want you running point on protecting the Green Farm. You know them the best out of any of us in our group. Tur, I want you to go with Tukra, if you don't mind.
Sounds all right.
All right, and he's going to turn to Cypress. Cypress, I want you acting as a mobile unit. Provide support wherever it's most needed. You're able to move the fastest out of any of us here beyond Tur. So it would be best if you actually were moving around just to support wherever there seems to be a breach. And Cypress will nod and say, "Very well. I'll take the south area to start.
Okay, so she'll start down here.
Yeah.
Do you want to start her on the walls or
Start her on the walls, yeah.
Okay. And me is asking, is making sure you know, these guys on the walls here can see the green farm.
Yeah.
If Mistress Green is attacking, they will have to they'll see her and know she's doing stuff.
That's why I was hoping that our resident illusionist and our shaman could.
You want him to try and hide her, basically.
Basically, I was hoping that they would put on enough of a flash and bang show with their own magic that it would not be as apparent when Mistress Green was doing her own thing.
You clearly don't know how a mentor works, do you?
Well, I guess not, but we don't need a mentor right now. We need somebody to help make sure that the green farm is secure.
So why are you sending the Beast of Burden there alone?
Kale is kind of flabbergasted at this and is just going to move on. Kana, you go and help Tukra over at the green farm for now. And Kana's going to be glaring daggers at Tur this entire time while he is, one, insulting Tukra, and two, just being uncooperative.
He's being perfectly cooperative. He's offering to be a mentor and a leader through this difficult time. Well, advisor rather than leader.
All right. And as for me, I'll be on the walls alongside Cypress, and he'll position himself on the southeast wall.
Okay.
Whereas Cypress is on the southwest wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And from there, he's just gonna. And once he makes these statements, he's just going to tell. It's going to be a rough night, everyone. Stay strong. Stick to your groups.
It's actually morning.
Yep. It's like early. It's like just about dawn.
I was not aware of this. Okay. It's a new day, everyone. Let's make sure that's a good day. Let's make sure it's a good day, and let's all come home safe. Stick to your groups. Make sure that you support each other. No matter how afraid you are, don't forget that your fellow man is just as afraid right next to you. So don't let your fear take control.
Okay. All right. So we're good with this distribution.
I'm currently flying between the two walls that have only a militia.
Okay.
To provide moral support.
Okay.
It's important.
Guess we're ready to go.
Right.
Wait, how far can the Baron and Jor-El move in terms of space?
They can move. So from where they are on this wall here, they could move to any of these places. To the Green Farm, the Market Square, the Town Center, or the housing area.
Got it. I think this will be more of the distribution.
Okay. Put Baron over there.
Have Baron,
Yeah.
Baron up at the northeast wall or northwest wall?
Yeah. From there, you could do this kind of upper right quadrant.
Yeah. Well, that's also
you can reach those.
Yeah, it's also a good idea because then that might help with the Lady Green issue with his morale boost.
That is true. He makes units with him pass their morale checks. Which I should say before we go into it, a morale check is basically just a will save. It can be caused by an enemy ability, could make you have to do it. An allied ability could go off of it, like Jarrell's thing. At the end of the round, that unit makes a morale check, and then if they succeed, he deals 2 extra damage.
Right.
And when a unit takes damage equal to or greater than their health, they make a morale check, and if they pass, they get to move to an adjacent area and possibly survive then, start running away. If they fail, they just have to stay there. And then once you've taken damage, once you're downed pretty much, if you take damage equal to your health again, you are gone.
Right. Fun times. All right. I think are we gonna have? Let's have Jor-El take the. Let's have him take the west wall, or no, sorry, the east wall right next to his brother.
You're leaving a bunch of militia to fight against one of the orc captains. Are you sure that is wise?
Yeah, this is like the biggest, baddest looking group of orcs of them all.
Wait, so they're on the wall. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I got a little muddled there for a second. I got a little muddled there for a second. Okay, so yeah, let's have Jor-El stay there. You're right. Let's keep him on the northeast wall.
There is a reason that I'm the mentor.
And what a good mentor we're being.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds good.
So we've got ourselves all set. Dawn is breaking, the sun is rising, and you can see as the sunlight starts to filter through the forest behind the town and break through the hills, the orcs and goblins are charging and attacking. They split off into their smaller subgroups to come in against these various places. And a large war cry arises from the north of town, and you see the Orcish captain and his 3 subordinates come up against the northern wall. A group of orcs and goblins ride into the green farm, breaking down the fences on their way. One of the groups with the strange masked goblin assaults the northeastern wall, at the same time as one assaults the southern wall. The other group of orcs and goblins come into the eastern wall, and one of the strange kind of staff-wielding goblin groups hangs back, waiting. They seem to be waiting for some sort of signal from one of the orcs or one of the lieutenants, while the other one assaults the southeastern wall. Immediately, the cries of battle and noise spring up all around town. It's a fearsome cacophony of noise. The strange goblins with masks lob these spheres up at the walls. They explode into gouts of black smoke and smog. There is Cypress on the wall, and Cypress is going to need to make a Constitution save for me.
Okay, Cypress. Oh, wait a second.
I'll steal that one.
I'll try it.
Go for it.
Oh boy. Okay, con saves. She only is at a +1 on that. 20
right.
in total.
She does fine. Let's see, how does our Baron succeed as the gouts of black smoke cover over him? Alright. He does fine, waving it out of his eyes, getting that smoke out of their way with his powerful arms and body. So no ill effects come from our first goblin's special effect.
Well, one other thing I should have mentioned is that Cypress, this is actually backtracking a little bit, but when they were back at their homestead, she will grab one of the spare spears that they got from the sacred shrine.
Oh, okay.
Just because she doesn't have a special spear yet, so might as well just grab a new one that isn't corroded.
Alright, so now we go into our first round of combat.
Oh, I'm creating an illusion on the wall of a small but looking powerful, Hell Knight.
Okay.
Oh my.
A scary looking guy. What are you using? Just minor illusion?
Yep, minor illusion.
Okay.
He's short and small.
Short and small, but very intimidating looking?
Yes.
Okay, doke.
For some reason that made the DK rat from Donkey Kong 64 pop in my head.
Alrighty. That's nice. So we're going to move into our combat area. Let's resolve this. We'll go clockwise, starting with your space. Me. So your small, intimidating-looking Hell Knight looks very small and intimidating. The sunlight gleams off of his pitch black armor. Flames waft behind him. It seems to incite the Orcish captain. He cries out another loud war cry, and he and his orcs attack with all their might against the wall, trying to break it down wherever they can, climb up if they can, essentially just harming the heck out of it. And the wall is nearly depleted after their onslaught. And you and the militia fire off in return.
I'd like to cast a spell at this time.
What would you like to cast?
I want the image to say burn, and I'm casting Phantasmal Force on the captain.
Phantasmal Force.
He needs to make an intelligence. I'm creating an image of a Hellfire Inferno cage around the captain.
Okay.
He needs to make an intelligence check, an investigation check against 14. 12.
Okay. Oh, he makes an intelligence saving throw, and then he can make an investigation check if he fails this later.
Yes. Yeah, that is correct.
Alright, against a 14, you said?
12.
Oh, against a 12?
Yes.
So it's vocal, all that. He looks up at your conjured little Hell Knight and scoffs as he walks forwards past the limits of where that fiery cage would have appeared. That's so disappointing when things make their save against illusions.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but he laughs. He does seem to believe it has come from your conjured Hell Knight, but he just walks through it unscathed. And now you guys deal your damage. Now, I would like... What is your charisma modifier? Me?
Jor-El is leading this party. I'm just here.
Oh, okay. In that case, let's see if we have enough to knock out our captain. He's close, but we need to succeed on this. We do not manage to get our extra bonus from Jor-El. Now, we'll move on to the Greens and Tukra.
And
Kana. Whew, this is a stacked little area.
Indeed.
This group, as it is mostly consisting of goblins, they're scared. They don't want to attack Mistress Green. She freaks them out. So they go straight for the weakest looking one of you, which is Kana.
Okay.
So they assault Kana for 5, taking her down to 1 hit point. And now, you guys beat the crud out of them. And they are exhausted. They will try to move away and escape, but they cannot. So you guys don't need to make any special saves for her. Now we move off to this area. These ones are fancy goblins with the masks, led by orcs. They are not cowards. They see this strong, hardy half-orc man wearing a brilliant, grim face, and they go straight for him, attacking him with all their gusto. But they gotta make it through a wall first. So, they beat themselves upon the wall, hoping that noxious black smoke will help defend them. The wall looks worse for wear, but not that much worse. And you guys rain down pain upon them, going down to very little health on him. Many of the goblins fall. The goblin falls, 2 of the orcs are downed. It's just that 1 lieutenant remaining. Now we move to our eastern wall, past the fairgrounds. It's 1 militia member and one group of militia and 1 orc and goblin group. The orcs fight against the wall, valiantly gouging it with their swords. The goblins kind of scrabble up onto the top. The militia cut down the goblins as they fight, leaving only the orcs to contend with. Down in our southeastern area, we have Kale and a militia group standing upon a wall. The goblin with the strange staff comes up, begins to wave it, starts to chant words. You guys don't quite understand what it's saying. It sounds mysterious and magical. If anyone had any magical knowledge, they'd realize this is total goblin nonsense. None of it matters or is important at all. But from the mouth of the phoenix-headed staff erupts a gigantic billowing flame, hurting you and the militia and the wall all at once.
Wow.
The wall is barely standing. Our militia members have fallen, and Kale seriously hurt.
Does Kale not do any damage?
Kale does do damage.
Oh, cool.
But the militia is not able to run away. After this gigantic gout of flame, you see the bronze head fall off of the staff. The goblin starts to freak out and erratically move away from it, also trying to pick it up, but scared of it, as if it might cause some sort of harm if you were to grab it.
Didn't we get one of those?
You did, in fact, get a bronze phoenix head.
Huh.
Now we move to the south. We see a militia member and Cypress combating with another group of orcs with their masked goblin. The goblin stands back, readying, moving about in its cloak, trying to pick out another kind of prepared ball of noxious gas, while the orcs beat against the wall. They harm the wall, but take some serious harrying fire, being harmed very, very thoroughly. Now we've come to the end of the round, and we need to see what does our militia group think of Mistress Green up in the north.
All right.
So, Tur, you said that Jor-El is leading the group, so I guess I'll see how they do. Do they get scared and run away? No, they're able to remain. They are spooked and confused. One of them says, "I swear I just saw Old Lady Green off in the distance." The others remark and start looking around, but quickly are drawn back to the combat as they are afraid and confused.
Right.
Wait, who said that?
The militia.
Which group?
Your militiamen group.
Who's Lady Green?
Well, she's the owner of the farm, but she died like 2 or maybe 3 years ago now. It doesn't matter. We need to deal with these orcs first. If we don't stop them, I don't know what's gonna happen.
I completely agree.
Alright. So that guy's gone. Get out of here. So, now we have our movement time. Would you like to move any forces?
What would kind of have to do to be able to try and strike at the goblins who are just off waiting?
Off waiting?
Yeah.
She would have to move out past this group here. She could make it. She has fast feet.
All right. Wait, what about Jor-El's damage boost?
That did not manage to go off.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was at the end of the round. Okay. Anyways, let's... Do they have any of their healing abilities? Could Kale trigger second wind or anything like that? Or are we keeping that out of this form of combat?
He could make a morale check to try and heal, to try and help them. Give some sort of rousing speech, because that's kind of always how I imagine what second wind is. It's just a pure force of will. I'm feeling better now.
Right. Okay, yeah, let's attempt that.
Okay.
Just rolling, what was it? So it would be a charisma check, or?
Yeah.
Well, he's got decent charisma. So at +3. That's a 16.
16? Alright. That is enough to gain 2 health. How would you like to spread it out? Would you like to bring this group back up?
Let's bring him up, yeah.
Okay. So they are back on their feet, unsteady, but ready to rejoin the fight.
Alright.
Uh,
So Kale's just going, get up! Get up and defend your home.
And these poor militiamen rise up out of the flames and
Now that's Phoenix.
unsteady ground.
Know that from today on you will be known as the oh dang it, Order of the Phoenix is taken. What would they call him? You have risen from the ashes, just like the phoenix that tried to bring you down.
All right, that's not too bad.
Ugh.
All right, so no other. Everyone else is going to stay in position. All right, so we'll just move on into the next layer.
Okay.
So
I'm going to give that militia a name, though. I'm going to come up with something cool. The Phoenix Slayer.
definitely not the Phoenix Slayers.
Yeah, the Phoenix Forged. Forged in the fires of forged in combat against Phoenix Fire, I guess. I'll come up with something better. Don't judge me.
They're all
You're
judging
very
you.
inspiring.
Thank you. He calls from across the town.
All right. So now we're back up to our top. We're in the northwestern region again. Do you have any spells or tricks you would like to pull, Tur?
I'm going to cast Color Spray.
Okay. That's weird. That's one like a sleep now, isn't it?
Yep.
All right. So 6d10. So 29. All right. So they're down to that much. Okay. So the remaining force here is blinded. I'm going to say they do half damage for this round. And you guys you'll have advantage on Jor-El's extra damage, pretty much. So, time to strike. The orcs bodily run into, forming, kind of breaking a rough hole through the wall, giving space for the Orcish commander to strike out blindly. Alright. And he strikes at...
Can they successfully hit the militia considering they're blind?
Yeah, I'm just having them do less damage for blind. So they don't do much. They do 2 damage to the militia. And then you are able to pretty much knock out the orc captain. They have a chance to run away as they're exhausted, and they do not. So they will be at your mercy next round. But that wall is broken. Now we're on to the green farm. Is anybody moving from the green farm?
Kana would probably try and take a more defensive position just because she got hit pretty hard in that last attack.
Okay. Does she want to retreat to
Yeah.
another area? She could pull back to the market square. She could head to the town center.
You know, I might just have Tuck cast healing word on her, or cure wounds.
Okay. Let's see. What's your wisdom modifier? +4 now?
Yep.
Alright. So she can get back 4.
And I guess that will use up one of his 4 slots.
Mm-hmm. Our waiting goblins move up. Again with the fancy, hand-wavy, magical nonsense from the goblin.
Ooga, 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 chaka, ooga,
They send-
ooga, ooga, chaka.
They send a massive blaring wave of flame at the wall. The wall is broken down, barely surviving. Our militia have fallen. Baron is severely hurt, and our goblins overrun, knocking them down, knocking down the wall, in turn being knocked out themselves. It's a vicious, terrible fight. It almost looks like the Phoenix head goblins have no care even for their allies. The flame searing and baking some of their own goblin associates as they charge in.
Yuck.
It's a dangerous time. Baron has been greatly wounded, manages to away. He has actual military knowledge, so he would have them away to here, to the marketplace. So our first group has been pretty much taken down there. We move on to the right side here. The goblins and orcs manage to assault and finally break down the wall, only to find the waiting blades of the militia and arrows from the townsfolk, knocking them out these folk are still just about fine, but waiting on a wrecked and ruined wall. To the south, you see the remaining goblins and orcs from that pack attack and scrabble at the wall, trying to make time and save time for the goblin to pick up that strange phoenix head again. And you see that that goblin has recovered their fear and picks up the head just in time to be shot and taken down by stray arrow from the militia. Kale rather, takes down one of the climbing orcs with his battle axe.
Mm-hmm.
Battle axe.
That thing has tasted a lot of orc blood recently.
But the wall has fallen.
Kale's just going to do a backflip down from the broken wall. It says, Phoenix Forged, with me!
Alright, let's see an athletics check.
Okay.
Or actually, an acrobatics check.
Couldn't make it flashy combat, could I?
Well, you're not fighting anything.
No. Oh!
Alright.
That's
You
19.
backflip beautifully and gracefully, landing on your feet, crying out in good style.
Phoenix Forged, with me!
And
Press the offensive.
so would you like to rotate over to the wall over here?
No, I think
Or would you like to head back and wait in case somebody comes through to here?
No, I think Kale would have heard the crashing coming from up north and seen Baron retreat.
So we would move up to the fairgrounds
Yeah,
to try and
and
intercept.
He would try and rally the troops from the eastern wall while he moved.
Try and rally these guys?
Yeah. But I guess that would be at the end of the movement phase.
Yeah. Alright, so we go down to our southern edge. We see the goblin pulls out another strange globe, fuming with black noxious smoke. Tosses it up. Make another constitution save for me.
Okay. Come on, Cypress, let's keep the ball rolling on this.
Here, just roll that one again. That's not a number.
That was a 1 or a 13. I would go for the 13, but
That one's a 2.
that's a 2. So it's a 3 in total.
Alright. What are we going to get this time?
Cypress has a bit of bad luck when it comes to being blinded.
She is blind. She and the militia are blinded this round. So they will deal half damage,
Alright.
which will still luckily be enough. But the goblins assault the wall. It still is standing. It's in tatters. Looks like a gentle breeze could knock it over. But with their wild flailings and attacks based on where the goblins and orcs were prior, they're able to knock down the goblins, who will attempt to run away and manage to flee off to the side here, to this wall. Alright, so let's see if our militia gets scared. The militia gets scared this time.
Uh-oh.
They are trying to flee directly away from Mistress Green, off to the housing area. They've been spooked. They're convinced there's some kind of demon here now. They saw this blackened, ebon-armored, fiery monster appear on their walls.
Thanks for that, Tur.
And now they're seeing a strange, kind of unearthly, ghastly, sort of rotted leaves and vines version of this lovely, nice woman who they all know passed. All of them attended her funeral. They know her young son, Jovan. Well, grandson.
Can I see her?
You can see her as well. Would you like to see if you're frightened by her? I figure you have seen lots of strange things in your time as a great and wonderful mentor. You might not be frightened by a fey creature.
I most certainly am not. I'm just prepared. That's what a wizard is. Always prepared.
Alright. Would you like to do something about this fey creature who's appeared?
I think we should deal with the orcs on our wall first.
Okay.
You would think he would also have some faith since Tukra and Connor are fighting right alongside the Fae.
You never know. They might have been tricked.
It's a beast of burden and one of the arrogant people who's not the hero.
He's going to get smacked at some point.
Maybe, maybe not. All the best mentors have to get slapped at least once.
Well, Tucker probably wouldn't care. He'd just shrug it off because, I mean, he's been called much worse by his own tribe. But Kana probably at some point will just lose her temper.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, do we have any movements, any changes of location people would like to make?
Well, yeah, Kale and his militia are going to make that move up.
They're going to move up to here.
Oh, I thought they were moving to the fairgrounds, or is that
okay?
Because that's their one movement action, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we would have Cyprus move to intercept or move to pursue the orcs that ran away.
Cyprus move to pursue these guys on the wall. Okay.
Yeah, along with her militia.
All right, she'll give the command there.
And while Kale's moving, he's going to call for the eastern wall to come to the fairgrounds and join him in trying to repel the enemies to the north.
Okay.
Kana and Tukra might move to try and deal with the northwest wall.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Wait, the northwest? Over here?
Yeah.
Okay, so they would move over here to assist?
Because Jarrell is the only one left fighting there. Did he make his morale check to see if he could deal the +2 damage? Or does he need to have...
He's downed. This is just going to be, do you guys hurt him enough to get rid of him entirely?
Got it.
Or do you capture him and interrogate him? Or some variety of other things? So now we go into our potentially final combat stage. You've got a very unheroically large group of people here to take care of the Orcish captain.
I thought there were more orcs there.
That's alright. He's the only one left. He's knocked down, bloodied, harmed. Now it's time for you to choose what you want to do with him. Who's taking command? Who's the leader?
I think it comes down to who would get to him first. If Tucker managed to outrun Kana and just try and deal the coup de grace, that'd be fine. I think Kana would try and be a bit more pragmatic about it.
Okay. So would Kana attack? Would Kana hurt him?
No, she would actually push for him to become a prisoner. Just
Kana can reach him first because Kana is a rogue.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, she's more likely to want to gather intelligence. We all know Tucker's just about what's in front of him.
Mm-hmm. All right. What would Tur do? Would Tur try to hurt him, or would he try to interrogate? Would he allow Jor-El to make the choice and follow his lead?
He would follow Jor-El's lead. He's the mentor. He lets the other people make the decisions.
Oh, okay. In that case, Jor-El...
He'll advise capture. It can make better stories, but whatever Jor-El decides, he'll not interfere with.
Alright. Jor-El sees an orc as a danger and a problem for their town, and he immediately goes to strike and try and remove this source of hate and pain.
Right.
And so we've got Tukra, who is going for hurtin', Jor-El, who's going for hurtin', Tur, who... Are you assisting or just not interfering?
Not interfering.
Alright, so we've got 4 on him there. Actually, I guess I'll put that in this third circle. Jor-El finally gets his second shot off. So he is almost downed, very nearly executed. He needed one final little push. And he's going to try and limp away, escape, do what he can to run.
Well, Kana can outrun him.
Yeah.
Especially if he's wounded.
Alright. So, what do you want to do to try and stop him? Do you want to grab him, try and knock him out?
She has hemp rope, so she was just going to try and tackle him and tie him up.
Alright, give me a athletics check. To grapple him.
Alright. It's always just the opposites with them, isn't it?
I mean, a slim, roguish lady isn't the best tackler.
Right. Maybe she would just knock him down and tie him up. Or she would try to knock him down, then tie him up, but I don't know.
Knock him out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could knock him out.
Well, no, I already made my call, so I'm not going to go back on it, but...
Okay.
Alright. Let's see. Acrobatics. Athletics, she's at a -1.
She's got a tough roll ahead of her.
A 15.
She manages to tackle his legs and slow him down for a moment, but he shakes her off, strides off, tossing her to the ground. Still doesn't manage to harm anyone, but he's able to move out off of that area. He's still incredibly well wounded and has very little life left within him. Just a shot from anywhere would take him down. So we'll move off to...
Wait, I'm not
Yeah,
quite
you're not done?
yet.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Detect Magic and check whether Takra and Kana have been, whether there's any magic effects on them.
Any magic effects on them? Okay. What magic?
And if so, what kind?
Let's see. Kana's got...
She's got her magical items, but she's not actually. She doesn't have any kind of auras on her, beyond being half Genasi or half Jinn.
Kana has an abjuration aura about her, and Takra has something between transmutation and conjuration aura about him.
Because of the
Kana's seems to be coming from her whole body, particularly her upper body, and Tukra's is coming from his staff, mainly. Like it radiates out from his staff.
In that case, how far can I move?
How far can you move? You have a range, because you're flying, you could reach about like this. You could get into the fairgrounds where Kale is, either of the walls on either side of the green farm, out to Jarell's house, which is where the elderly and the children are waiting, to the housing area or to the town center.
Where do the orcs look like they're coming from the broken down wall that's undefended?
Where the orcs look like they're coming from?
Where do the orcs look like they're going to from the broken down wall? Fairground or market?
From here, they're aimed more towards the market. Look like they're going to chase after those guys, Baron and the militia that ran away.
Okay, I will fly somewhere in the middle and try and use a minor illusion to make the sounds of weak here.
Okay.
To make the sounds of weak, pathetic people, innocents, basically, in the fairgrounds.
Okay.
Scared and terrified.
Scared and terrified. Alright. What's your spell save DC?
12.
12? Let me do that again.
If this works, it's going to be hilarious.
I like that.
I really like this idea, me.
Thank you.
Ooh, I need to roll this. Aww. Alright, so... let me check if those guys managed to do anything yet. Alright. The goblin who is on the direct wall is distracted by by these sounds of innocence and like crying, frightened people. He can see into the fairgrounds. He sees definitely some hurt people, but he doesn't see any innocents hiding there. They're logical enough that they don't believe you would be keeping your refugees that close to the walls, and continues to move off this way, or continues to look like he's moving that way. However, this goblin back here hears the sound of children and lamenting women and cries of pain and fear, and definitely looks like they're heading down this way. They've been able to regroup, recover themselves a little bit. They look like they're ready to rejoin the fight. But they do not look well. They look quite worse for the wear. So those guys will move during the move time. So you guys have no one to fight against. Go down here to this fight. So I presume you want to attack this goblin?
Yes.
Or this goblin and orcish group?
Yeah, Cyprus doesn't really have any issues with taking down.
Alright. That's our first completely removed goblin and orcish group.
Alright.
So now we move into our movement area. So he's going to move here. Would you like to try and impede him, or this group, as They're moving. Tur?
Sorry, give me a moment. That group?
Yes, the Meiji group.
Yeah. Not. I'm going to yell out, Plants Lady, come here and help. Having determined that the Plant Lady is not mind controlled Tuckra and Kana.
Ah, good determination.
Oh, I see.
All right.
That's why he cast that spell.
Lady Green hears your plea for help, and she sees her townsfolk. She knows that she might scare them and be fearful, but better that they be afraid of her and safe than not
Dead.
know her and dead.
Yeah.
She will also move down here.
And I will prepare a color spray for when battle is actually joined.
Okay, you'll get that active. All right.
So basically, I want to fire it off right before we engage, so that all the enemy is blind.
Yeah, okay. Now we have our chance for these guys to move and try and follow up on the heavily injured leader, or they could remain where they are to defend against him if he were to return.
Kana would try and... Kana's not one to actually allow for the enemy to recover. If she can't get her primary objective, then she's just going to go for the backup plan and just shoot him down while he's trying to escape.
Okay. So she will basically attack him on this next round?
Yes.
Alright. It's going to be range, so he can't even hurt her anyway.
Right.
Jarrell will come out with you.
Yeah. Tuckra, seeing that Jarrell and Kana are just trying to take down the last Braid, he's going to head back into town, especially if he sees Lady Green moving.
Okay. So he's going to move along towards the market, or is he going to move?
He's going to move towards the market
here. Okay.
Yeah.
Right there. Alrighty. So we've got our combat, which this guy, our Orcish captain, is finally defeated. He's taken down. Would Kana like to try and convince Jarrell not to kill him and instead capture him? Or is she just going to let him do what he does?
If the option still holds for him to be captured, I would say yeah. She would try and convince him to at least hold him until they knew that he didn't have any useful information.
Okay. How is she going to try and convince him? You've got the situation where Jarrell is kind of charging after him in the field. Weapon drawn, bloodthirst in his eyes. He's ready to slay something. You need to make some sort of quick, concise, and persuasive case.
Okay, she would yell, Jarrell, one Orc captain can lead us to all of his other men. If he's actually got any information, we should keep him alive.
Alright, roll a persuasion check for me. Let's see how persuasive Kana can be. This will be useful if she's our hiring manager.
Let's see here. Persuasion? She's at a +5 on that. That's a 17 in total.
Alright. Your words are able to cut through his kind of rage and his almost single-minded bloodthirst. And sort of the intelligence of it speaks to him. He knows that that's something that he really should do. If they can find where these guys came from, if they can find where they were able to equip themselves to actually attack a town like this, then they could perhaps stop that. Or they could report it to someone else who could stop it. And he doesn't quite hold his blade, but he holds back. He doesn't cut off his head so much as
he just does the pommel strike
right to the back of the neck. The Orcish captain is knocked out, knocked down, and all alone.
Kana's going to immediately start trying to tie him up with the rope that she keeps in her pack.
Okay. He is tied up and restrained by you guys. Unconscious for some number of hours.
Alright.
Alrighty. Now we move over to here. He continues to hear that, or is still tricked by that sound, that wailing women, all sorts of distress, and simple villagers. And it's going to move down this way later. Now we move here. We've got our Meiji-looking goblin. They are surprised to see this wilting Shadow Fae woman, and immediately determine that she is the greatest source of danger here.
Mm-hmm.
And turn all their focus on attacking them, on attacking her. So they strike at her, dealing a whopping 2 damage themselves, just by the sheer kind of prickly, uncomfortable feeling and oppressive air that Mistress Green can hold about her. They are knocked back by the force of their own blows and downed, not able to even muster the sense of fear to run away. They're so terrified. They don't have any sense of self-preservation left. And the rest of our group here are able to eliminate them, unless anyone would like to
Tucker's
hold
not.
them.
Tucker doesn't really care about taking prisoners.
And Mistress Green heard, "Please come help." They're out and gone. So now we just have this guy who's going to be moving over here, and this guy who's going to be moving over here next turn. You could intercept them and begin battle, or you could wait for them to come to you.
Cyprus, yeah. If it's about those guys, yeah. If it's this is the southwest wall, Cyprus would intervene. She just wants to make sure that this is taken care of swiftly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So, Cyprus got that. They're on that wall. That's gone. So, you see the goblin has reaffixed his kind of bronze phoenix head. The gout of flame bursts out. It singes Cyprus dangerously, but this time it has gone above and beyond, not only harming Cyprus and blasting the scattered and burned remains of the walls with flame, along with the militia, but it consumes all the goblins and the orcs as well.
Oh my.
And with the cleanup by Cyprus, these goblins and orcs are gone. We're left only with our group of goblins here, goblins with that strange mask and the orc leaders along with them.
Who are invading the fairgrounds.
Coming into the fairgrounds, searching with wide, gleeful eyes for the defenseless, pitiful refugees.
Easy kill.
To which they find instead a large group of well-armed and armored men ready to block and defeat them.
Kale's just gonna... He's got this big grin on his face, and his eyes are gonna go slightly dark.
Mm-hmm.
And just says, "Hi there," and just brings up the battle axe and charges in.
Charges in, okay. So in the melee, in the big fight, Kale is well hurt, is down and desperate, needs help, but our goblins as well are slain. So we're left with a bunch of people very badly hurt, a captured Orcish captain, and a bunch of bodies.
Yeah. So Kale just gonna be down, and he's just laying on the ground, and he says, "Are you guys alive?" How does the militia respond?
One group says, "Yeah, we're fine. That was easy."
What about
The other group is just like, help, please.
To them, and I'm pretty sure he knows that that's his crew that came with him from the south wall. He's gonna say, "The Phoenix Forge are reborn twice," and then he's gonna pass out.
All right. So for our last tiny element of this, let's see if these guys get scared of Mistress Green. No, they do not. They are able to see all these other folks.
I guess
not afraid of her.
And they also
surprised maybe, but not afraid.
And maybe they see that Tucker is just he's acting very normal around her. He's showing her honorifics. It's just him being very polite to this fae spirit woman.
Mm-hmm. So that will wrap up our combat, unless you want to go out and chase down these damaged fellas. That should be a 0, not a 3.
I think if Kana can see them, she would call for that because they have their prisoner. She doesn't need need extras coming to try and save their extra goblins and orcs trying to save their prisoners. So she would call for any available militia to try and remove
chase them down.
Chase them down.
Okay, so she'll take this group with her.
Yeah, And I guess you would leave Jorel to drive the prisoner into town.
Yeah. So we're able to... You'll be able to clean those guys up, no problem.
Mhm.
They're just running, hurt, afraid, left without any command structure or really any help at all. There's only whatever remaining orcs and goblins you left in the caverns. So, we've survived through the siege.
All right.
The walls were effective in stopping the orcs. They were mostly torn down. Everyone is grateful towards Baron and his brother, because without them they would not have made these walls, and without them the town would not have fared nearly as well. But they also look gratefully to this group of truly heroic figures who have helped and defended their town, even though they're foreigners, they're outsiders.
They're outcasts.
It's strange to them. So let's see. You've got all of the other townsfolk. Anyone who's not able to fight was hiding over here in Jorel's, in like the healer's hut out towards the woods, ready to scatter into the woods and escape if need be. But they hear the sounds of battle have quieted down. Nothing seems to be happening. No orcs have torn into their home. So the braver ones amongst them start to filter out and come to see what's happened. They see you all gathered in the market square here, or at least many of you gathered, and they ask what happened.
All right. Tucker's going to look around for Kale, because usually Kale's the people person.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm guessing Kale's still passed out at this point.
Yeah. And Mistress Green aways herself to her place, stepping into a tree planted near the marketplace and disappearing.
Right. So Tucker's going to have to, until Kale recovers, Tucker's going to have to just awkwardly stand at the front and say, well, so this happened, and then this happened, and then Kale said some stuff. I'm giving, it's just how he would go about telling the story. It's very just this, then this, then this, then this. There's not a lot of, glamour to it. There's not a lot of heroics listed. He's going to try for it, though, and he says, I think Kale did a backflip at some point. I couldn't really tell. He was too far away.
As you're telling that story in a very uninspired, monotonous voice, as Tucker is wont to do, not for any fault of his own, the militia are going to meet with their families, their friends, and you hear whispers and rumors spreading rapidly of some sort of monster made of leaves and decay that helped against the orcs. It was fighting with us, and other militia members say they saw the dead Mistress Green from years ago, and she was there at the farm.
Would if they actually address Tucker about that, he actually does have a cover story for the Lady Green in that.
Okay, would you like to tell that cover story as you're hearing these rumors?
Yeah. When I went to investigate the farm, I found that spirit. I realized that the Lady Green had actually become a protective entity. Her love for her family and for her farm had actually made her into a guardian spirit. I used my druidic magic to give her form, and to give her the strength to be able to protect the land that she loves so much.
The crowd is very leery of this. You may go ahead and roll a...
Persuasion?
Yeah, deception.
Oh, okay.
You're trying to trick them.
Well, he's just as persuasive as he is deceptive. So, that's a 0.
Mm-hmm.
10.
All right.
Middle of the road.
The town is very leery of that. As you remember, they are open to all sorts of people. They're willing to allow anyone to be here, but they are leery of magic. They're not big fans.
Hmm.
They don't like the idea that she's this druidic guardian spirit any more than she's some kind of undead monster.
She's neither, actually. She's not even undead. She's just a fae.
They don't know what she is. They're scared of her. They hope she doesn't come back.
Look, let me explain this to you simply. Did she actually participate in the fight? No, only the orcs attacked her because she was a figment of their imagination.
One of the militia members says, but I saw her. The goblin hit her and then fell down, like started bleeding from all these little pinpricks and thorn points. How could that be a figment of their imagination?
That is an excellent question, and the answer is sometimes when people believe something strongly enough, they suffer the effects.
But then why didn't I suffer the effects? One of the militia members says. Genuinely curious and very confused.
Magic has rules, and these rules are very complicated, but needless to say, you did not suffer the effect. Wait, did this character attack Lady Green?
No.
You didn't suffer the effects because the rules that I crafted into this was that you could not suffer the effects as long as you did not attack her.
Alright, I would like you to roll a deception roll now. Let's see how me does. Well, that's a 2, so that's not too great. The militia member responds with a very quizzical eye. Well, it's true I don't know about magic, but I don't like it. I'm not sure. He turns to...
Would you like me to prove it to you?
Yeah, prove it to me. How are you gonna do that? Make her again. I'll tell everyone can see her now. We'll all decide. As a town.
Give me a moment.
Alright. There's murmurs of agreement and...
Rabble.
Yeah.
Rabble.
People are getting stirred up. They're getting excited. There's kind of the... not euphoria. The adrenaline from the attack. From being safe, finally. But there's still fear there. Concern.
I'm going to cast Silent Image
Okay.
to make an image of her.
How smart is this particular member of the militia? He is hurt very badly. Alright, let's see. We'll decide how it goes with this. Alright. Your image, how would you like to have it appear, like manifest? Would you like it to just come out of the ground? Would you like it to descend from the sky? Just appear?
Just appear. I'm just proving that it's all that I can do.
That
illusions.
It was just illusions. Okay. It blinks into existence, your image of Mistress Green. It's standing straight, standing upright. Doesn't move or do anything aggressive towards the person. And his memory of having seen it and the fear he felt strikes into him, and he again feels that same sort of fear. As you said, sometimes if you believe something strong enough, it happens anyway. So even though this isn't Mistress Green and she doesn't have that actual aura of fear and stuff, it looks the same and feels the same to him. He was planning to charge up and attack your thing to show that it was just some sort of strange magic and see if it would attack him as well, the way you said it would. But the fear alone is enough to convince him that truly it was some kind of crazy illusion. He backs down and kind of moves away slowly, saying, "Yeah, I believe you. Turn it off, please. Don't keep it here."
As you wish, and I make it disappear.
the crowd is a little confused. Many of them were shocked and kind of disturbed by seeing this creature, but they didn't feel that sense of fear. They didn't feel that magical urge to run away. But here's this guy who saw her and was calling you out on it, and he's saying it's real. So there's some dissatisfied grumbling. Some of the younger folks are quietly talking amongst themselves, possibly planning to sneak on to the green farm and look for this supposed monster. But for now, they've accepted that it's some kind of magic. Everyone sets about trying to right things, fix things. They're dispersing. Baron is kind of trying to heal himself, recover, help any of the wounded folks.
Tucker would also assist in healing.
Okay.
Any charges he has left on cure wounds he would use on the anybody who's injured.
Okay.
Including Kale, who's probably still snoring away.
Yeah, just over on the fairgrounds.
Yep.
Tur is going to try and ask Tucker to come with him to the green farm. Because he would like to discuss Tucker's battle strategy at the green farm.
Okay.
Alright. So are you gonna is Tucker gonna stick around and do healing, or is he gonna go with Tur?
He would say to Tur, I'm needed here. I'm needed here first. I'll come with you once everybody is in decent enough condition that nobody's in danger.
Then I will meet you at the green farm.
Okay.
Alright.
So healing up everybody will take a little while. Presumably Tucker will go off and find Kale and the other militiamen that are over in this direction.
Yeah.
Cypress will kind of help gather up people as well. And it's generally accepted the market square is going to be the meeting spot for people. That's where Baron is. And while the healing efforts are going on, he's talking to Tucker and Kale, who are there, explaining, like, this was an uncommon assault. The orcs had better conditioned gear than they normally do.
Anything
had the
worthwhile for
goblins.
adventurers?
Nothing better than what you already have.
Okay. I have lost interest.
You could try and collect those phoenix head things to have more of the phoenix heads.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely would do that.
You did see how scared the goblins and orcs were of them.
Yeah.
They seemed very dangerous.
Well, yeah. That's why we have magical appraisers.
Okay, so do you want to...
Oh, we wouldn't fire them off. Heck no. Just make sure that we actually understand what we're dealing with, and then whether or not they can be destroyed, if they could just be left as a way to deter any further invasion.
Okay, so you're thinking about getting them for the town?
Yeah.
Um,
And Kale has got this... He's going to... Once Tucker's woken him up, he's going to have this glorified idea that we've got the Phoenix Forged, we've got brass or bronze Phoenix heads. I'm gonna do something with this. This is gonna be awesome.
I also don't know if you remember, but that banner you had was of a phoenix as well.
Mm-hmm. We didn't really incorporate that into the fight, did we?
No, you didn't really take it out, but
it was too all over the place, I think.
Yeah, but so as you're going through this healing stuff, Baron asks he was at one of the explosions. That's right. He mentions that is a kind of artifact that he does not think they should have had. He doesn't know where they would have gotten them. That sort of technology was only ever found from deep in old dungeons from a long past empire called the Der Technic Empire. He would write a letter on one of his simultaneous parchments to an old associate of his who runs a mercenary company in Lyon, but he doesn't think that his associate would believe him without actual proof. So he's kind of trying to hint to you that perhaps you could go and bring this proof to his associate.
Kale would he would like to do that.
Okay, Kale would like to do that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Baron then starts talking about like relief efforts, what they can do here to fix things, make sure everyone stays safe, better security, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, most everyone has been healed up, and it's been maybe like an hour or so, and Tucker would be free to go over to the farm.
At this point, I've tried to look for Lady Green.
Oh yeah, I was gonna actually come back, and while all that's happening, you are going to the farm, and you are pretty quickly able to find Mistress Green. She is waiting within the house, or within the main manor house, and she immediately recognizes you have magical power. She can feel your kind of wizardliness, and she invites you in. She says, "Please, my friend, come in. We have much to talk about, I believe."
I agree with you completely. And I head inside.
Okay. There's no explicit sense of danger or aura of kind of problems with her, but there's definitely just a sense of power. She feels very, very connected and close to natural magic. Even though you are a wizard and you don't follow that sort of magic, there's a palpable sense of it in the air. She looks to you and says, "Why have you come here?"
I have a feeling that because Takra and Kana and Kale did not explain the entire situation, there might have been some issues that have been created as a result of their lack of information.
What sort of issues?
Apparently the townsfolk think that you might exist, and they might be upset with that.
Well, yes, this town is a good town. They are kind to all people here, but they don't particularly like my folk, or even really your folk. It may be rough for them to know that I wasn't exactly human, but I believe they'll come around. Particularly with my son, or my grandson here, Jovan, who can help maintain our trust and hold good rapport with the town. I think we could recover. It would.
So are you planning to reveal your presence, or do you want to try and cover it up?
Eventually, I might reveal my presence. I think it may take time before they are ready to accept me, but unfortunately, they know I'm here now. They've seen me.
Well, I can try and cover it up with some illusionary magic.
Do you think that would work?
There's a chance that it won't. There's a chance that it will. It really depends.
Well, how could I thank you for doing such a favor for me?
No thanks is needed. But I'm sure that if I need something later, we can work it out.
Well, of course. That's my kind. My kind never fail to return help. Anytime we are aided, we give aid in return. Speaking of which, I'll need to speak with young Tucker. He helped me before, and I've helped him now.
Too. I asked him to come here.
Oh, well, that's perfect.
At this point, would Tucker, while they're talking, enough time has passed that Tucker will have seen everybody and it's all good?
Are there any other big questions you want to ask, or anything you want to ask before Tucker arrives?
I'm going to ask whether she knows anything about that note.
About the note? Let me pull that up, because she does know something about it. Where is it?
Oh, and my pygmy owl is keeping watch on the roof.
Okay. So, do you want to show her the note or just ask her about certain elements?
I'll show her the note.
Okay. She recognizes the language. It is, what's the like wood and earth version of primordial? It's like Aquan, Terran, Sylvan. That's it.
Oh yeah.
That's the one. It's in Sylvan, the next part of the language, and it's long, dry instructions on how to enter into a room, like very, very formal address and that sort of stuff. It's a long-winded thing, like when you step into the chamber, you must put your hand over your heart, take 2 steps forwards, lean down onto your right knee, and say my blessings and thanks to entering this room. I'll write out the full text for it at some point and send it to you.
Sounds good.
And she also recognizes the Starlit Bear and the Rotten Leaves and tells you that those are 2 names of major Fey houses. The Starlit Bear is a Glitter Fey house, way down, and it was at one point located way down to the southwest, deep in the forest. And the Rotten Leaves is located up in a place called the Wild Marsh, which is way off to the northwest. But she hasn't heard anything from people from either of those houses in a long time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It is my pleasure. You aided my town. It is the least I can do to aid you. And that is dangerous magic you're dealing with there. Something most mortals would never try.
So this note has never been mentioned before now, right?
Not to you, no.
Got it. None of that sounded familiar to me.
Yeah. That is special for Tur's backstory and quest.
I see.
Okay.
I'm going to just also make small talk.
Yeah.
Just find out more information about Lady Green to try and make the illusion better.
Okay, she'll tell you kind of some backstory and history. She'll tell you about how when she was very relatively young, that is like 100 years ago or so, she met a small child who was playing out in the woods, and that was the man who eventually was her husband, and she realized that, I don't know, she felt very strongly for this young child. She felt a strange bond with him, and kind of gives you the story of how he grew up, how she integrated herself into the town. She appeared as a refugee. She said that her town had been attacked recently. It was a small little commune out near the woods to the south. And general sort of banter stuff, things about her mannerisms. She gives you some information about the sort of aura she projects, that sense of fear and dread and all that sort of things, to help you perhaps come up with your own way to emulate it when you're making the illusion. And of course gives like tips and pointers on how exactly things should look, what things should stay immobile and what things should move on her for plant life. Lots of little stuff.
What about the rest of her powers? Because I saw her pass through trees. Can she pass through any kind of wooden object, or how does that work?
It needs to be a very large tree. Like, it could be a huge bush, but generally it would have to be a tree. She can't do it through any wood. It needs to be planted, like wood that is connected to the earth. Needs to be planted in the ground.
It's like her own version of Earth Step, or what's that?
Yeah, it's
Shadow
Tree
Step.
Stride. Is
Tree
the
Stride.
ability I made it off of. In some places, like in certain elven communities, they use magic to make the trees to sculpt the trees into houses and things. So there she could do it through just about any wood. But here it's only from one tree to another tree. And it's a decent distance she can do. She says, as long as you don't do it more than, or I showed maybe a 100-foot step from it. I tried to step as far away as I could so that they couldn't see me. But they saw me do that, so if you make your illusion come out of a tree, it might be more convincing. Any other questions or parts you would like to focus on?
Where are the trees that you step? Where's the tree that you did step out of? Where are the nearest trees? Are there any trees in here?
Her house is actually, the bottom floor is that sort of sculpted wood. It doesn't look like it, but the front room is all one tree that's been grown up and grown into the house through crazy sylvan magics. But other than that, there's trees interspersed about the town. It's a small forest town. Lots of them have been cut down, but many have been left for shade and cover. So just around about town, most places you would have a tree that she could come out of.
Understood. Thank you. So about the fear projection, does she need? How does it work exactly? Is it only when they see her, or?
Yes, it's when basically a non-magical person sees her. She has a natural chance to make them terrified. To give it's the same effect as the fear spell, which is frightened, and they can't move towards her, and they have to move away from her if they fail to save. So there's an element where you're scared, and there's an element where you have to move away.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright, so you guys make small talk, discuss the finer elements of the magic and all that sort of stuff.
I also ask her whether she minds getting damaged, or whether she minds being attacked or harmed. How bad would that be for her?
Well, it wouldn't be terrible as long as it's with mundane weaponry. But cold iron or magical steel would be far more painful. But she would be worried about the people attacking her. She part of her power in combat is that she returns some of the damage dealt to her to the attacker. Things that would harm her harm them instead.
Would you mind if I tested that power?
How are you going to test it?
Do you have an axe anywhere in here?
I don't think I have an axe, but we might have some kitchen knives.
Would Tucker have shown up at this point? Because I don't think he would promote the idea of him purposefully attacking Lady Green just to test out her powers.
It's an hour.
Yeah, there's lots of time.
Fair enough.
I'm saying maybe like two more fine points to talk about.
Alright.
And then Tucker would definitely be here by that, but he's not here quite yet. It's only maybe been 30 minutes or so.
Got it.
So you want to try it out?
Yeah, I do. See what how would she? How tough would she be? Like, would she be able to survive like a hefty blow?
Yes, definitely.
Then I will try to make a good strike with one of the knives.
Okay. She's a willing target, so you don't need to roll or anything. So you strike as hard as you can.
I'm going to use dexterity if that matters.
Okay. What's your dex mod?
It's a knife.
+4, I think, right?
Yeah, +4.
Okay. So you deal a total of 6 damage, and you slice her. Do you have anywhere you want to do it, like on the arm or something?
Somewhere on the just in her midsection.
Okay.
Where I think a common person would try and attack her.
Okay. The knife kind of gouges in. It feels like you're trying to slice through wood. You manage to get like a decent gouge on her, but it doesn't look as deep as it should be. Like you have a decent sense of how much that should have hurt something, and it doesn't look like it hurt her enough. And after you've struck, you kind of gasp in pain and feel these prickling pokes and vines lashing you across the stomach. When you look down, nothing is actually coming out of her, but you can feel a similar wound as across your own belly, and you take 3 points of damage.
That's yeah. I mean, I always think of that as just Aegis. Any damage you take gets reflected back on your opponent, right? She just has an Aegis aura, or
Something like that. Yeah,
That's
she's
awesome.
got kind of like a thorny defensive field.
Nice.
Anything that hurts her within anything within 30 feet that hurts her, half of that is prevented unless it's a magical weapon or cold iron, and is dealt to whatever the attacker was
Huh.
via spectral, invisible kind of thorns and vines.
Interesting.
Do you know where I can find cold iron? Because you said that you had a weakness to it, so I want to make sure that I'm able to figure out if I have a way of identifying it.
Tukra has cold iron. There were several cold iron tools hidden in the chamber below the house.
There's a chamber below the house?
Yes. It's a great disgrace for the family. The originator, the founder of the Green family, was a member of something called the Order of the Lantern, and he would hunt and slay Fae as often and as many as he could. He had a torture chamber, is the kind way to say it, beneath the well in the back. There were many tools built to specifically harm our kind and lure us below if we are not strong enough. I believe Tukra took those all away, and I thank him for that.
Would you mind showing me this area, or pointing it out to me, so I can just confirm that he has taken everything?
Mm-hmm. Alright, yeah, she'll lead you down. You go down into the basement. It looks like it's been recently sort of flooded out and overgrown, but it's been cleaned up. And she leads you through some hallways past a few sort of storage areas, at one point, a room for workers to stay in. But the wall has been busted open, and there's a circular chamber with a pedestal in the middle. On each side of the chamber are tables where there are remnants of rust and broken bits of iron. Nothing seems expressly magical, but the Mistress Green does not enter the chamber. She won't step into it.
I will gather up all the little remnants.
Okay. So you gather up the little bits and pieces. You can take some time to identify them now, or you could look at them later.
I'll look at them later.
Okay.
It's best. I just want to be able to have them.
Okay. So, after that, when you walk out, she tells you that now that you've taken all these pieces, she knows there is no cold iron amongst all those bits. If any cold iron was around her, she would be able to tell. Any Fae would naturally know it. It's kind of their natural... It's anathema to Fae. Sort of like a poison, just in the air and around them.
That is good to know.
I guess you guys, unless you have anything else you want to ask about down here, you guys head back up, and Tucker should be arriving very soon now.
Sounds good. I'm going to just, while we're heading up, I'm going to ask for just a tour of the house to find good hiding points or anything of that sort.
Okay. She shows you about a little bit quickly. Down in the basement, there's a few nice hiding points around corners and like storage rooms and things. behind barrels that are full of wine or other sort of foodstuffs. Up in the main house, there's a storeroom off of the kitchen in the back that would be a fine place to hide. It's very dark. There's no windows. There's no access other than the kitchen. So you would easily be able to tell if someone's coming in. And as long as you could avoid them, you could escape and shut them in there. The second floor is not the best to hide. It's kind of got a circular hall going through it that opens onto every room, and one sort of central library room. But each of those rooms in and of themselves, there's
Downstairs, I think there was 5.
5. I'm thinking about the second floor.
Oh, sorry, second floor. Yeah, I think
I
you're
believe
right.
there were 5
No, I think-
rooms,
yeah.
or maybe 6.
Because there was the study, the bedroom, the wash closet,
Yeah.
along with there were. I think there was two other rooms. I can't remember exactly. No, the library was on the second floor,
Yeah.
and there was one other room. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think you're right. 5.
Any follow-up questions?
So the entire house is just one thick chunk of wood. Are there any gaps in the wood so that you can see like between rooms if you know about them?
Well, only the first floor is that kind of specially magic-made tree. The second floor was built on top of it. There are windows in the atrium and in the kitchen. The wood is just kind of like it's made to look like standard paneling. So there's no real gaps, no peepholes. You could probably make them fairly easily, or Mistress Green could probably use her magic to make some peepholes through the house. But she doesn't
would you
quite know
mind?
why. Why would you like peepholes in my house?
That is an excellent question, and the answer is to do illusion magic. You need to be able to see where you're casting.
Ah,
And
I see.
When we do our grand show, I think I'm going to want your participation in it. But when we do our grand show, I want to be able to prove that I can. If there's any more magically inclined people, I want to be able to prove that I can just do that.
okay. She closes her eyes, touches a hand to the wall for a moment, and asks you, how many vantage points would you like?
As many as you feel are necessary. Mostly I need them to one room that you want to be in for the discovery.
Well, let's use the study then. She opens her eyes, walks upstairs, and when she walks back down, she says, it is done. From every wall of the study, you'll be able, and every room surrounding it, all about the hallway, you'll be able to see within.
Thank you. Are any of those rooms around, like the areas with the ability for me to hide?
You would be able to hide in the library, and if you used some, you could also use some illusions to make the hallway seem shut off at certain points. Or if you wanted to, you could install a wall on one point of the hallway to block it off, and use a part of the hallway to look into it from. But the library would be your main place to do it from.
Thank you. And can you seal off some of the entrances to the hallway so that you'll only be able to get in through either the back door or around, or if you had to go through the study?
Yeah, she could do that. She's looking a little worn out. She's using a lot of her magic today, but
Well, if you're too worn out, then don't bother.
I don't know. I can do it. I'll simply have to rest soon. So she kind of raises up a wall, brings it, sets it off, so there's kind of a hidden section, pretty much. It looks like unless you have a really good kind of head for space and areas, you'll just think, oh, I hit the end of the hallway. And then if you go around to the other side, oh, it's that same wall. I wonder why they have a wall here. But there's really maybe a little secret 5 foot by 5 foot room there. And she's installed a little kind of hatch you can go down into the floor and come up in the room in. And that's centered right on one of the peepholes for the study.
Thank you. I think at this point Tucker probably shows up.
Yes. Yeah, so Tucker walks up, he sees the Mistress Green talking, kind of giving these specifications to Tur. And what does Tucker want to talk about? What's Tucker want to let her know?
Well, there's not so much he wants to let Lady Green know. He was asked to come here, so he's going to address Tur and just say,
All right. I'm sorry. All right. What did you need me for?
I wanted to tell you that when you don't provide all the information to the rest of your team, it makes planning rather difficult.
Well, it wasn't exactly my information to give. It seemed rude to just divulge every bit of the Lady Green's secrets without her permission.
And as a result, now the town people think that she's alive and are terrified of her.
That's not exactly my fault.
Your what?
In what way is that my fault?
As a result of you not telling me, I asked her to come to the market to help defend it. After having to use my magic to determine whether she was mind controlling you because you wouldn't tell me anything.
Well, I don't exactly trust you. I've known you for all of half a day.
You need to learn to trust your mentors.
According to you, I'm a beast of burden and not your pupil.
Beasts of burden can still learn things. Eventually you might even become a henchman. For Kale.
Ooh.
Did you just ask me to hench? You did not just ask me to hench.
I mean, you don't have the charisma. Listen to you telling that story in town. That was an awful story.
You told a story? Says
You
Mr.
tried to
Green?
tell us how we all epically defended the wall, and it put everyone to sleep.
They needed the rest anyways.
I couldn't sleep very well, though, because I heard droning.
I'm beginning to understand why Kana does not like you.
All right, boys. Relax. We're all friends here now. Tur has a plan, it sounds like. Tuckra, are you okay with this plan? Shall we carry out some sort of mild deception?
If
Or
it
do you
allows,
believe the townsfolk are ready to meet me?
I didn't tell them all about you because I didn't think they were ready. I still don't think they are, but if this helps provide peace for you, your family, and for the town, then I will gladly help.
I think that's the best path here. I came to the market because I'd rather my friends and family stay alive than feel the blades of the orcs. I'd rather them greet me when they're ready than run in terror from me.
A worthy aspiration, Lady Green.
So, Tur, when shall we carry out this magnificent plan of yours?
When they come. I'm sure that they'll send someone over here to go investigate.
They may not. I hope they wait. I hope they recover and feel good. But if they do, what shall we do? Where shall I wait?
You shall wait in the study.
Okay.
Oh, Takra, do you have any healing left?
how
Probably
many-
not. After
how many
trying to heal a
slots
whole
do you
town,
have?
I had 3 left.
3 left.
Well, I mean that's just
Where's
for
my handbook? What level of cleric was he?
druid. You mean?
No.
Oh.
Cleric. Baron is a special character.
I didn't realize he was a cleric.
Well, he's not only a cleric.
Ah, multi-class, huh? Interesting.
Okay, so he's got 6. You said you had 3.
3 slots left. Yeah,
So we had how many hurt folk?
quite a few.
That's not too many. That's only 17 people. So you probably are all out of slots.
Yeah. because I could also use.
That is a real shame.
I forgot I could also use my level 2 slots to be able to use Cure Wounds as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's just mark those off for now until the next long rest.
Yeah. Alright, so that means we've got just about 4 more. There's 4 of the less severely injured folks left who are still recovering. But Jarrell's gonna help them with his kind of poultices and healing things like that.
Cool.
Alright, but what did you want healing for?
Well, it's not a matter because Tucker doesn't have it anyway.
True.
He really he's doing his best to just piss off Tucker, isn't he?
He's doing a great job of -1 charisma modifier.
Ah, right. Fair enough.
What is Tucker's charisma modifier?
0.
So I'm even less friendly than you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So blocked off region.
So here is the plan. You're going to wait in the study. And all you need to do is just wait there, stay still. If you feel like they're attacking you too much or they look particularly hurt, you're going to step through the tree and out.
Okay. I can do that. But I really hope I don't hurt them too bad. Is there any way we could make sure they're not hurt much?
Well,
it's not like I can stop this. It's not like I can turn this power off.
Tucker, get some rest.
is that an order?
It's not an order. It's just would you like? Do you like trying to save people, or would you rather them die?
Dear, please, you can use the bedroom. It's right out here.
Thank you. Tucker's going to. I'm guessing he'll go in and he'll test the bed to see if it would actually hold him. And when it starts to creak, he'll just
He's
think.
probably gonna sleep on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll probably just chill on the floor.
Mistress Green will come in and she'll see you're on the floor. She'll take the blanket off and cover you up.
Aw.
And now I'll go to the study.
All right, so everybody's going to. I'm guessing everybody's been taking a long rest at this point, so any abilities are recovered and all that?
I mean, it's gonna take another 7 hours for a long rest to happen.
Right.
But unless you want to do any more things, we could skip ahead to the long rest being over. See how long it takes for folk to come investigate Mistress Green.
Sounds good.
So... Ooh. And actually, since we're doing a long rest, which we don't make it all the way through, this happened, the interested, or those young townsfolk who were coming to Whispering and planning on investigating the green farm, they come in about 5 hours after after you guys have been setting up. So
all
the
right.
long rest is not quite over. You are asleep, so you may or may not notice them.
All right.
Tur, were you resting as well, or were you staying up and waiting?
I was going to. Does my pick me owl have an ability to wake me up? Like, would it be able to?
How does Find Familiar talk about it talking to you? Let me see.
It has telepathic connection, and I don't mind it pecking me to wake me up.
Yeah, it could wake you up. You could tell it to wake me if you see anyone, any humanoid things coming in.
That is exactly what I was going to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it will. So you've been resting for a while. It will start hooing in your mind and giving you this kind of feeling of being pecked on the forehead while it's outside, letting you know something's coming.
I wake up then?
All right. You can hear a group of. Sounds like a bunch of teenagers trying to be really quiet, but doing a really poor job of it, chattering and kind of they're all stepping on all the weak points of the stairs, making big creaks and noises. One of them stumbles as they get up to the top. You can hear maybe three different guys and one girl kind of walking down through the hallway. They walk towards the little blocked off room, which I would assume that's where you were waiting and resting.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. They kind of walk there. They don't see anything. They turn around and start walking the other way.
Are they headed?
Yeah, they're heading just sort of around this hallway, looking in each room as they are. They're opening doors. They see Tukra, and they try not to wake him up. All right.
Sounds good.
They manage to not wake him up, and you're having more trouble hearing them, but now they're moving around, and Mr. Screen hears them as well. If you're watching in the peephole, you'll see they open the door to the study, and there's a audible gasp from one of the guys. Everyone else sort of stops. They're wondering what's going on. They see Mistress Green waiting in the study, and she's doing as you commanded. She's waiting, sitting there, not moving, not doing anything. They stand there for a few moments, looking back and forth at each other. They feel that sort of palpable sense of fear, and one of them doesn't want to go in. He's starting to get real scared. Now they're believing the story a little more. They feel this same sort of sense of fear that the militia member felt.
At this point, I'm going to slip out and try and start to move behind them.
It's like you're going to go out of the room and try to slowly sneak around.
Yeah, so I'm behind them.
Okay, make a stealth check. All right, you manage to very quietly and stealthily sneak up around. They do not pay any heed of you at all. They're standing there in the doorway. The one that's frightened is kind of pressed up against the wall of the hall. Can't tear his eyes away. The girl starts to kind of push and lead them into the room to get closer. She seems to be the instigator, the one who's kind of getting this group to go and do this thing.
All right.
As they're walking in, would you like to do anything?
Nope.
Okay. The girl tries to turn around and tries to pull the guy who's up against the wall in, but he flat out just refuses to go. He is terrified and can't move. Mr. Screen is having a hard time staying still. She feels very sorry for how scared this young boy is. She doesn't want to be terrifying him.
I cast message. I say it's okay for you to slightly move, but just don't move very far.
Okay.
You can twitch. I can control my images so that they can't move.
She stands up slowly and moves kind of back towards the edge of the wall, giving more room for the frightened boy to move about. She picks up doesn't pick anything up. She just kind of stands and moves, gestures for them to come in. The girl kind of throws down, lets go of the guy's hand, gives him a kind of disgusted ugh, and walks into the room. The other two kind of are a little nervous, a little unsure what to do, but she advances. She goes right up to Mistress Green. She says, "Are you a monster? Or are you some kind of magic?"
I say, don't respond.
Okay. Mrs. Green stands there. She looks down, but doesn't say anything. The girl says, I think you're a monster. What do you think, boys? The boy out in the hallway says, "Definitely a monster." The other two say, why hasn't it done anything? Shouldn't it do something? I think it should do something. Do something! They holler at Mistress Green.
Don't do anything.
The girl kind of sticks up her hand, starts moving it, waving in front of Mistress Green's eyes. Takes her hand down and goes to touch her. Pokes her in the shoulder. Pokes her again. She feels that there's something there, there's something real. She turns around and kind of backs off. She looks at one of the boys and says, I don't know. What did that guy say? He said they got hurt. Looked like they got hurt when they hit her. What do you hit her? Boys look at her and say, like, you crazy? You hit her. I'm not hitting her. You do it. She walks up, balls up her hand and unclasps it, and then just goes for a big sudden slap right across Mr. Screen's face. Hurts a little bit. Mr. Screen is mostly shocked and a little bit angry.
Yeah.
If she were a live human grandmother, this would not be happening.
No.
And this lady would be in big trouble.
Does Tucker hear the slap?
No. She's a young teenage girl and she's not a fighter. She doesn't have enough arm strength to really get a good slap going.
Right, and it's not really skin either. It's more.
It's a kind of leafy wooden mixture. But she does feel. You can. The boys see like pinpricks appear on her own cheek, the girl's cheek, and little dribbles and bits of blood are spurting out, almost like little like razor cuts from shaving. The girl's shocked. She gasps at the sudden, surprising pain of it, not only from her hand hitting something harder than she expected, but from her face tingling and feeling poked by vines and leaves and thorns.
As if she'd been running through the woods and gotten scratched by some low-slung branches.
Yeah. Mistress Green is kind of standing there, shocked. She's waiting for some kind of signal. She doesn't know what you want her to do exactly. She's waiting.
Continue standing still. Once they turn their back, then you can step into the wall.
Okay. The girl turns around to look at the boys. The boys point to her like, look at your cheek. Oh my god. Did she do that? The girl says, I don't know. But it hurts. It's gotta be some kind of, I don't know what this is. Maybe he was right. Maybe it really is some kind of magic. It would have said something. Nobody wouldn't say something. The boy out in the hall calls out to them, saying like, I really think we should go. It's too scared. And he's turning to try and head down the hall. He's gonna keep going the way they were going, thinking he'll be able to just walk out and get out. The girl sees he's leaving and darts out the room to try and grab him and stop him from going. And the boys turn around thinking they're gonna get out of here. They're ready to go. Once all their backs are turned, Mistress Green hops into the wall and slips into that sort of secret room area. So they're heading off down the hallway away from where you are. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna try and. Can I get? Do I think I can get outside before them?
Yes, they're gonna go around and hit that wall that you had put in with the sort of secret room area, and
okay.
You can just head out the other way.
Sounds good. I'll do so.
Okay. When they get to the wall, they start feeling that same sort of fear sort of sensation, and they start heading the other way.
Do they feel it? Because it's only when they can see Lady Green, and they can't see her.
They can't see her. Boy fell for it. I guess, yeah, he needs to be in sight of her to be afraid of her. Otherwise, he doesn't know where she is. So they'll hit the wall, and then be confused by why there's a wall here, and turn around. At this point, you've made it down the stairs. Tucker is still sleeping pleasantly. They look in the room, and they're confused. They're slightly confused. They're like, why is he here? Maybe he was telling the truth? Maybe he made this thing? I don't know. Maybe we'll come back. We'll figure it out, and we'll do another try. They head down the stairs.
And they see me standing at the bottom. Didn't I tell you that it was a magic?
What are you talking about? There wasn't anything up there. They're trying to lie. They don't want to admit that they don't know what's going on. Your monster's not hiding there right now. Where is it?
You mean Lady Green that you slapped across the face? And I create an image of a cast silent image to create a copy of Lady Green.
Mm-hmm. And as you say, you slapped across the face. The girl quickly covers up her cheek, where you can clearly see those pinpricks and thorn points and stuff like that. And they all gasp as they see that image of Lady Green you create. They're convinced and frightened, and they feel that same sort of sense of fear, even though it's not actually there. They said, "Yeah, we saw one of those, but it was real. It wasn't just a picture."
Don't you remember what I said? Your mind makes it real. Would you have believed it if I was there before? Were you expecting to find an illusion or to find a monster?
Well, we didn't know. But
you were secretly suspecting that you'd find a monster there, which is why you saw it, and you felt it.
I guess you're right. Ooh. Then the girl kind of thinks for a second, says, "Well then, what happened to my face? Did you do this?"
Do you remember? You heard the stories of the goblins getting pricked, and then you believed that it was so. Did you not?
Maybe. See, this is why I don't like magic types. You make everything so confusing.
I agree completely. That is why I am a mentor and not a full-blown wizard. I just know a few parlor tricks.
This is just a parlor trick? One of the boys says.
Compared to true wizards, yes. Now come here.
They're kind of off kilter. They walk towards you. The boys are kind of dumbly doing it. The girl's still a little suspicious, but she's walking over as well.
Now believe me when I say it's an illusion. Watch, and I pass my hand through the image of Lady Green.
They see your hand just kind of stick right in and go straight through. The boys are thoroughly surprised. The girl is aghast. She runs up and puts her own hand through, obviously going right through the illusion, because she just saw it was an illusion. She's bewildered at this point. She doesn't know what's going on.
As I said, you believed it before. Now I've proven that this one doesn't exist, and you have accepted it. That is what gives you the power to be able to pass through this illusion.
So you're telling me if I hadn't seen you put your hand through that, I would have touched it, like the one upstairs?
Exactly.
Her mind is reeling at this. She doesn't know. She's not sure if she can believe you, and she's not sure if she can believe her own eyes, because she's just seen two separate instances of Mistress Green. One she touched and hurt her, and it hurt the girl as well, and one that she passed right through. She's confused. Your talk about wizardry being complex and complicated, and the idea that she believed it was going to be a monster, so it was real, and now she believes it's an illusion, so it's an illusion. That's just plausible enough. She looks at you. She says, "All right, I'll believe you, but I promise, not everyone's going to believe this. Some of them are going to come ask you. Maybe not today, maybe not another time, but someone's going to want to know." And she kind of gestures for the boys to come out with her. They all try to start heading off. Would you like to say anything or do anything before they go?
Say whatever you will about this event. Farewell. And remember this important lesson. Not everything that you can see is to be believed.
They kind of give one last look back at you and head out the door. The girl goes last and she slams the door behind her in typical teenage fashion. You believe they're gonna spread word around town that, at the very least, you really are magical. And you carried out some kind of trick on them. And it worked the way you said it worked. But you're not sure how convinced the townsfolk will be. But for now, it seems sufficient.
That was good. I think that went well.
Mistress Green steps out of the wood behind you. Says, "Well, it was a little bit aggressive, but I think they'll believe it for now." And that one, as soon as I get to talk to her mother, she is going to be in some serious trouble.
I like it.
I agree completely.
Well, thank you, Tur. Hopefully, maybe not soon, but in time, I hope I'll be able to meet my people again freely, without need of some sort of charade such as this.
I hope so as well. Which is why I think that we might need to do something to educate the people of this town.
Well, they're educated. They just are educated about the wrong things. They know about the dangers of the Fae. They don't know our customs or our kindness.
They also don't know about magic at all, because everything I said was a complete lie.
Sometimes magic works differently for different people.
Like the magic of friendship.
Very true. Unfortunately, as a wizard, I don't have that kind of magic.
Well, that was me who said that. That wasn't actually said out loud.
Yeah, whatever. I feel like Tucker mumbled that in his sleep.
Magic of friendship. Go.
Alright. So, would you like to stick around? Would you like to go take a rest? Would you like to see where Kale and everyone are?
I will stick around for... I'll go to sleep here.
Okay.
In case another group comes to visit.
Okay. Mistress Green opens up a room for you to stay in. She puts out some bird seed for your owl as well.
The owl is going to keep watch on the roof again after having some food.
Okay.
And I tell her to, when Tucker wakes up, go to that young woman's house, and go to the teenager's house to provide healing.
There's a lot of teenagers in town.
Well, Mistress Green knows which teenager it is.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds like a plan. And yeah, Tucker will head back into town. He'd help out there, and he'd probably apologize to her because he was supposed to be helping. He was supposed to be helping with healing, but he just got so tired that he decided to rest. So he's sorry that she got injured while he was out of commission.
So does anyone else show up for the next 8 hours?
No, nobody else investigates for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Alright. But before we go any further, I do need Tucker and Kale to make Constitution saves for me.
Uh-oh.
Let's see if something bad happens.
Let's see. Kale has a +2 to con. He rolls an 11 in total. Tucker has a +2. Oh, they both have 15. Tucker rolls a 13.
A 13?
Yep.
So Tucker now suffers 1 level of exhaustion and now has disadvantage on perception checks relying on sight when he is in direct sunlight.
Uh-oh. Is Tucker going to recognize that this is actually part of his illness? Is he going to recognize that there's...
Oh yeah, he now has the symptoms that Jor-El described earlier.
Okay.
He's got fever, nausea. What was the other one? I was considering making it flatulence, but it was not flatulence.
Well,
Oh yeah, great, like a desire for raw meat and things he really wants.
when the first wave hits, he's just going to he'll stagger and he'll swear in Goliath or in Giant.
You actually have disadvantage on all ability checks, not just perception.
Okay, while in direct sunlight.
I forgot. That's why. No, just all ability checks.
Aye.
You're exhausted. Your body's sick and ill and can't handle things.
Okay. What about Kale?
Oh, Kale's fine.
Oh, cool.
He doesn't notice any symptoms.
Okay. So either he's fine, and maybe him being Azamar helped him ward off the disease, or you're just messing with me. Okay. I'll keep an eye out.
All right. So we've dealt with this group of people coming in trying to check out Mistress Green. No other group has shown up. The militia that have been hurt have been healed up over time. People are working to clear out the sort of burnt, broken bits of the wall. The town is returning to somewhat normalcy. Baron has extended this request to go meet with an associate from this mercenary company. Is Kale going to kind of get everyone together and set out for this? Is he going to send a group out for this? Does he want to have everyone get together and talk to figure out what they want to do next?
Yeah, actually, that was the plan. Was that they would have sort of a meeting. Tucker at this point is coming up, and he's just slumping.
Mm-hmm.
So Kale's going to immediately think, "Okay, no, you're not coming with. You're going to Jor-El right away, and you're getting better."
Okay.
Tucker is not going to have the energy to argue.
All right.
Kana's going to say, Kale, if you think that you can handle just that it's just going to be a conversation, I actually want to investigate what's going on with that cult, the Ignobilis cult that we ran into. There's a few things I need to check out regarding that, and I think I'd actually like Cypress to come with me on that.
Okay.
Cypress will agree. Yeah. I haven't really been playing to her -1 charisma, or her 9 charisma very well. But she's just very straightforward and kind of swears a lot. Blunt.
That's fine.
Blunt is the word.
Yeah.
But Cypress is also, it's kind of shown her the most kindness out of anybody there. She's happy to help her out.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll say, well, sounds good to me.
Okay, so they're both going to go. And please give me a refresher. What do you know about that Ignobilis cult?
Only what Kana heard from the statue, from the 2 gems. She's following the steps that were described.
Oh, she's gonna go try and head east.
Yeah, head east. Check out that dead zone.
Okay. Interesting.
It's here, right?
Yeah, it's quite far away.
Yeah, so she might make a cut through Far Eldrith to try and get there first. Or actually, no. She might actually travel with Kale through Leon until their path separates.
Okay.
Kale will bring up, so where exactly are you going for this whole Ignobilis thing? And she said, to Leon. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They'll decide to travel together until such time as they split off. So if he's heading north, she'll keep heading east, kind of thing.
Kale would actually be heading to this small lighthouse. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 14 hexes, so that's maybe like a week's long journey or so.
And Kana's probably a little bit longer.
Kana's probably maybe more in the life of 3 weeks or so.
All right.
To make it where she's going.
Okay. So yeah, but she and Cypress would get set to go on a long journey.
Okay.
Tucker's just decided. Yeah, he'll help man the fort once he gets better.
Okay.
If he can actually communicate.
If he can recover.
Yeah, if he can recover. So I guess that just leaves Tur to decide where he wants to go. But I guess he will follow his student, huh?
Where is everyone going?
So there's one group that's Kale is going off to the northeast. Actually, let me see if I can find my map. I could give it to you.
So actually, Kale would probably just say, Tur, do you want to come along with me? Because he's pretty sure that Kana would flat out refuse to have Tur along.
So in terms of those locations where that Lady Green gave him, is either party going in that general direction?
In
either of those general directions?
Kale is going off to the northeast, and it's maybe, if you go with Kale to where he's going, it would be maybe a 2-week journey or so to get to one of the locations you want to go to. So that's kind of the short region area. And there's the little like lighthouse next to the lake is where Kale is going. There's a big gray area with a little castle-looking thing in it, which is where Kana is going. And you want to go up to the light green marsh area up in the top left. Or you want to go way down to the bottom left.
Where's Kana going?
Kana's going
east.
Way off to the east, to that gray area with the little sort of castle-y thing in it.
Got it. I'll follow Kale.
Okay. So you'll be going to check up with the mercenary company. So let me give some info on each different location, and also take some notes on who's going where. So it's just Turn Kale going to Mercs, and then it's Kana and Cypress to that place, and then Tukra stays home. So Baron gives a little more information on the mercenary, on his acquaintance. The person he wants to talk to is now the leader of what's called the Allfather's Hammer. It's a mercenary company in Lyon. It's generally a fairly religious mercenary company. Part of joining up is you must be a follower of the Allfather, and their major efforts usually go towards relief and disaster events. So things like when a town gets overrun by goblins, if they hear that news, they come and they send a group to try and save any refugees they can. Or if there's an earthquake, they try and go and help rebuild. But Baron says back when they first started, they did a lot of sort of dungeon delving and exploring and clearing out of ruins. And back then, the most dangerous things they found were artifacts from this kind of technological empire that's often had this phoenix motif. It was a big element of it. The most dangerous things tended to be phoenixes or other sort of mythological animals were their designs.
Kale is intrigued.
And that's part of why he says you would need to actually bring this, because they didn't find items like this so often. So for there to be such a big cache that some goblins had it, that could be potentially incredibly dangerous.
Right.
So he's going to send you up towards where their most recent base area was, and he says if you can ask to speak with the leader, Cesar Bijo, but he probably will be busy, and probably they won't let random adventurers go talk to him. You might have to look for someone who he just calls Gramps. He says everyone knows him. If you ask about him, just say Gramps. If someone asks for more specific stuff, say the guy who calls everyone Recruit, and you'll find your way to him.
All right.
He'll know who I am. He'll be able to get you in to talk to Cesar, and we can figure out what's going on from there.
Thank you, Baron.
I hope it doesn't come that they have to come here, because while they do good things, some of the members are overzealous. And sometimes disaster follows where they try to fix things.
All right.
And then Jorel heard Kana and Cypress talking about, or actually, I don't know if he did. Do they talk openly about where they're going?
I guess they would actually go into town to try and gather supplies because a 3-week trip, they need to make sure that they were fully...
But would they talk about what their mission is, what their goal is to do?
Maybe Tucker would, since he'd be going to Jarrell actually to...
But does Tucker know where they're going and what they're doing?
Yeah, because she kind of explained everything that happened after she went into the sacred shrine.
Okay. And is Tucker going to tell Jarrell?
I don't think so. For one thing, he's sick, so he's just not in the mood to talk.
Okay.
Unless Jorel asked where everybody was, I think that he probably wouldn't actually say anything. He'd just say, "Fix me.
Okay.
Please."
In that case, they're gonna go get supplies as they can. I'll figure out how much gold and stuff that costs later. And when Tucker goes to Jarrell, Jarrell's gonna see the symptoms. He can see you're feverish and you've got all that sort of weakness and eye strain, all that sort of stuff. He knows you're sick now, for sure. He gives you some instructions on what to eat, what to drink, what to avoid having. Tells you stay in his house and do not leave. Don't talk to anyone, don't look at anyone, don't let anyone in the house until he comes back. And he says, I need to go out. I need to go investigate something. There have been some missing folk since before the Orcish band came out, and I'm going to try and figure out what's going on with them. I'll be back in a couple days. If I'm not back and you're not better, you may not survive. But if I'm back and you're not better, we have a chance. Hopefully it just passes and your giant blood is strong enough. But we'll see. He gives another list of kind of more symptoms that will appear. He tells you your eyesight will get worse if the disease progresses. You'll start to be able to see less and less. He puts up a little picture on the wall and tells you where to stand, and does basically an eye test.
All right.
To see how good your eyesight is. And he says, there's 3 more pages like this. I need you to put one up on the wall every morning and stand at this point. And if you can't read the lines at this line, you need to worry. If you can still read there, you're all right.
All right.
So that's what's going on with Tucker. He heads out. Let's see, is there any other information you guys need before you head out? I think that's all the stuff I wanted to tell you. Are there any things you want to do before people start heading out? Any communication? Anything you want to do from the house? Do you want to check in with anyone?
And just make sure that all the friends they've made are okay. Everybody's just getting back to normal. Mm-hmm. Make sure they all know that they're heading out.
Okay.
I think, yeah, Kana probably would actually, anybody that she talked to, she probably just explained that she was heading east.
Mm-hmm.
Past Far Eldrith.
Okay.
Cypress would just stand quietly, just not really feeling like she fit in. Kale would be regaling everybody at the tavern the night before they all make their move to head out, just telling them what glories awaited them, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Making a big deal about the Phoenix Forged militia members.
Yeah, actually, he'd probably regale everybody with a story of him and his militiamen and their fight against the goblin archmage.
All right. So that sounds like a good night. Good collecting of supplies. Everyone's getting ready for their trips, getting ready to spread out. And I think that is a good place to call it for today.
All right.
That'll be a fun time.
Oh, the one thing that I wanted to make sure is that I told Lady Green to hide herself whenever people come to the farm.
Okay.
When the people who don't know about her come to the farm at this point.
Okay. She's planning on just whenever she notices people, she's gonna try and call some minor fae to help her with finding these things, minor animals. She'll just step into that little kind of hidden room whenever people come into the house. So that's the plan she's got there.
Good.
And as thanks for coming up with this plan and helping protect the village from her, and protect her from the village, she says she'll try and commune with the House of Rotten Leaves. Was it Rotten Leaves?
You said it was the Rotten Leaves or the...
Yes, she'll try and commune with the House of the Rotten Leaves, because that's the closer group to her. That's another Shadow Fae group. And if she finds any contact, she will let you know when you come back.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right. That is our tavern tale for today. We've got 3 little adventures that are going to happen next time. Well, not so little, but 3 different adventures that can happen now.
3-week adventures, apparently.
So we'll see. All right. Thank you for joining us. Hope you have a great night. Bye-bye, y'all.